Good morning, Gordon Ramsay, the police chief. I wanted to just talk to you real quickly about an initiative that we began in early May that involved us working more diligently at addressing violent crime. And it started with really a two-pronged approach. Many of you are aware of the community meetings that we've been having with our partners to address issues with activities for youth, employment opportunities, as well as summer activities to keep them out of trouble and their time occupied and structured. Some of the partners have been the Boys and Girls Club, YMCA. YMCA's done a great program on Sundays, or I'm sorry, on Saturdays, where they have evening youth activities that go well into the night, where the kids stay there and are safe in a structured environment. In an effort to reduce the violence, we want to make sure that youth have a place to be that is safe and where they can't get into trouble. So we've put this group together. We have another meeting this afternoon where we're going to continue to work on sustaining our effort as far as come on up, Mark Bennett. Where we're working on sustaining our effort for youth activities so that we can keep them off the streets and give them things to do. Of course, the other issue, and that's been a major effort on our part to work with our community members in a collaborative effort to get everybody at the table. There's many different wonderful youth service providers, but oftentimes everybody's going in their different direction, and this is an effort to bring everybody together. The other thing that we've done is really focused on enforcement. That is putting a team together. We put a team together consisting of community police officers, patrol officers, investigative personnel, and have put them under the direction of Lieutenant Gilmore to focus primarily on violent crime and the violent offenders that are plaguing our city. It's consisted of two teams that run throughout the day and night. Detectives from the gang unit have been following up on the task force cases and presenting the cases to the district attorney's office. The task force responds to all drive-by shootings and gang violence. When they're not responding to calls, they're proactively focusing on our violent offenders. They've also been assisting on robberies and aggravated assaults. We've also partnered with, on the enforcement end, key federal partners. The ATF and FBI have been critical in this effort. They've been wonderful bringing resources to the table and assisting us with the effort as we go forward in trying to address these violent offenders. The other partner, of course, is the District Attorney's Office, who has graciously provided additional staff and have been an active partner on this as well. So since early May, some of the statistics that the task force has have made are they've had 149 gang contacts, 105 arrests, which include 2 suspects wanted for murder. There's been 44 guns taken off the streets, as well as a whole litany of drugs, everything from marijuana, ecstasy, cocaine, heroin, meth, as well as prescription pills. And we've also recently brought probation and parole to the table as well, and work release, where they're attending our weekly crime ComStat meetings, so they're active in helping us as well. I'd like to invite Lieutenant Gilmore and District Attorney Bennett to say a few words as well.
Yes, the chief has done a great job explaining the task force and how it works. Just to give you just a little bit more information on that, the task force consists of 2 teams. We have a team that works during the day as well as in the evening. These are officers from our Special Community Action Team, our community policing officers, patrol officers, as well as gang intelligence officers from investigations. We're working day and night. We're responding to all the violent crime that occurs within the city. We're also working with the FBI and the ATF in reference to this when it comes to our federal firearms violations. We've seen some great success. We will continue to respond to all the violent crime and follow up on it after it occurs until we solve these cases. We've taken a lot of guns off the streets. We've taken a lot of violent offenders off the streets, and this is all in working partnership with the outside agencies to make Wichita a safer community. So we'd like to thank them for their participation in helping us out with this. Thank you very much.
Just briefly, I'll say that the Office of the District Attorney obviously stands ready to cooperate with law enforcement, as we've done since really the 90s on these types of cases. Every time there's an uptick in these types of crimes, there's a communal effort to put together with law enforcement and the community to address these type of issues. And so this is a long-standing relationship we've had, and we'll continue to track these cases and pursue them aggressively. Thank you.
Any questions?
Chief, what's the official name of the task force?
Violent Crimes Task Force.
Is it something that exists in perpetuity now, or is it something that has a goal or an end point?
Yeah, we'll operate through the summer, and our goal is to sustain the ground we make and ensure that we reduce the the amount of shootings that we're seeing, and ensure that continues to go downward.
You mentioned 105 arrests, 2 that dealt with murders, is that right?
Yes.
Your reaction to, obviously, that number, pretty significant.
Very significant. It's nice to have bodies all focusing in one coordinated effort, and I think their impact is being seen. Not only from the statistics portion, but also I think the bad guys are also talking about it and feeling that we're watching closer, and we're doing more than we had been.
May I ask which 2 cases they were, the 2 murder cases?
Yes, one was a case when an individual was wanted for homicide out of Salina, Kansas. The task force was able to track that individual down to a motel out on East Kellogg. Ultimately, it initiated a SWAT call out, and he was taken into custody without incident and transported back to his jurisdiction. They also recently helped and assisted with the apprehension of Dane Wright, who was the most recent homicide we had here in the community.